Hello, everybody. It's Bill's That College Football Guy here with another preview and prediction video. Yeah, I know I'm doing a lot of them. First, we're like, wait a minute. You said your last video was FCS, but I'm seeing Wazzu. What's going on here? All right, first off, let me get this cleared up to get this out of the way because somebody, when they're going to be mad, they probably put it together. UC Davis would have been next. I went and had all the thing gathered up and did the whole video, and what I find out, I looked for the roster. ESPN, 24/7, you name it, probably about the roster. So I looked at it. And then I went and looked at UC Davis because it wasn't some of the information, so I went to UC Davis itself. And the roster that ESPN and everybody else says is this year's is actually last year's. So I'm like, great, waste of time. All right, whatever. I'll go look for the 2025 roster. UC Davis itself hasn't even released this year's roster yet. So the UC Davis video is on hold until I can actually have a roster to look at so I can judge it. So UC Davis, when they put out their video, I'm sorry, UC Davis fans, there's a couple of you there who mentioned UC Davis for the preview and prediction videos. When the roster comes out, I'll do the video, but I can't really do it until I know who's on the team. So it kind of goes with that one. So next up on the list is Wazzu, Washington State at the Pac-12. The Jimmy Rogers era begins. Let me go like Jimmy Rogers. I'll get into that. First off, you were 8-5 last year in 2024. You lost to Syracuse in the Holiday Bowl. I don't care if you're a Washington State fan. I don't care if you're a Syracuse fan. If you don't like either one of them, watch the highlights. The highlights of that game. Mateer versus McCord. Wow. All I got to say. Now, Jimmy Rogers came over. He's the former head coach at South Dakota State, where 2 years ago they won the FCS National Championship. He brought his staff damn near. His offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator come over. Now, normally FCS coach is a big deal, but because there's cohesion, that actually does mean something. There's no guessing what they're going to do with, There's no guesswork. The players are a little bit behind, but the coaches are be together in the same mindset. They're going to be together, so that actually helps. Former head coach Jake Dickert took the job at Wake Forest. You going to win 4 games this year? Washington State's going to do better than you are. Wake Forest might win 2 games this year. Who are we kidding? Anyway, offensive coordinator is Danny Frund. I hope I'm saying his name right. His first season as offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach. Like I said, he was at South Dakota State last year. Previous OC was Ben Arbuckle, who is now the OC at Oklahoma, and Mateer followed him to Oklahoma. Now, FCS offenses, FBS offenses, the quarterback who was at, I'm forgetting his name, who was at South Dakota State last year, can put numbers up. Can put some numbers up, but I'm not going to get into that. But the point is this. He won't be on, he's not on, he didn't follow. But they had some offense they could do last year. So, Washington State, with Mateer, was 17th in total offense in FBS. South Dakota State was 4th in total offense in FCS. So that's something to consider here. Now, an FCS defensive coordinator, you normally say that would be a step up. Yeah, compared to what they had last year at Jesse Bobbitt. I hope I'm saying his name right. Is a step up from last year. He's taking over as defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, like he was. He was part of the South Dakota State staff last year. Previous OC was Jeff Schmedding, who was fired from Washington State before Dickert left. Before he left, he fired Schmedding. So Schmedding, fired from that job. Did he get a job as a coordinator? No. He's now the inside linebackers coach for the Denver Broncos in the National Football League. Huh? Who do you know? So South Dakota State, with Bobbitt as the defensive coordinator, was 5th in total defense in FCS. Washington State with Schmedding was 119th in total defense. Like I said, step up for a coach, even though he's FCS. All right, let's get to the quarterback job. No, Mateer's obviously gone. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? We got trouble transfers and held over, but I think Zevi Eckhouse, I hope I'm saying his name right, the redshirt senior, 37 of 50, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks last year. He's the only one with at least 10 10 completions from an FBS level. You have Jackson Potter, the redshirt sophomore, and then 2 transfers, a Johnny Shepard, the redshirt sophomore from Rutgers, and Julian Duggar, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Pitt. Neither of them have at least 10 completed passes at the FBS level, so it could change up. I think this is Eckhouse's job to lose, to be honest with you. Now, the running back room, we got transfers, including the 2-headed dragon from South Dakota State, and we got a holdover. So this is actually going to be interesting. Yep. Dylan Payne, the redshirt senior, not enough. They get at least 100 yards rushing, so from last season, so I didn't count him. But you've got Leo Pulalasi, the redshirt sophomore, 65 carries, 302 yards, and 2 touchdowns at the FBS level. The other 2, Angel Johnson, redshirt senior, Kirby Voorhees, yeah, like Jason Voorhees. Kirby Voorhees, the redshirt sophomore, Jason's kid, both transfers from South Dakota State. Angel Johnson, 91 carries, 646 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kirby Voorhees, 75 carries, 581 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Thunder and lightning, maybe? But between them and Pulalasi, this is going to be an interesting battle to see who this, or is there going to be running back by committee? I mean, how's it going to work there? So it's going to be interesting. Wide receiver room, there's a lack of game experience here in this room. I mean, realistically, you've got 8 guys who've got a shot to be in the wide receiver rotation, not counting the redshirt freshmen, and the straight sophomores, because you have to be on the roster at least 2 years for moving to give you consideration, because you got to know what you're doing, unless you're absolutely special, and not really. So, FBS level, only 2 guys have at least 10 receptions at the FBS level, and there's one. His college is a mouthful. But holdovers, oh boy. Speaking of a mouthful, Brandon Ganashamurthy, I'm not saying it again. The redshirt sophomore, Leighton Smithson, the senior, Tony Freeman, the junior, Mason Jurgens, the redshirt sophomore, and Leon Neal Jr., the redshirt senior. None of them had at least 10 receptions at the FBS level. I'll say the fun one last, the FCS one from last. We have, actually, I'm not going to say, I'll save him up right now. Devin Ellison, the redshirt senior transfer from Monterey Peninsula College. Normally I don't list the stats here, but it's Monterey Peninsula. He can't done much. 45 receptions, 837 yards, 16 touchdowns. 1 out of 3 went in the end zone. That's interesting. Wow. Can be wrong with the touchdowns if I'm receiving and rushing and everything else, but that's what I got for the stats I can find. We've got a holdover, who's actually about thing on anybody else. We got Jeremiah Noga, the redshirt senior transfer from Oregon State. We got a transfer within the Pac-12. 23 receptions, 266 yards, and no touchdowns last year. And Josh Meredith, the redshirt senior, a holdover from last year's squad. 39 receptions, 472 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Those 2, Noga and Meredith, the only 2 with FBS experience with 10 receptions. That's it. So the wide receiver room is a little bit of a concern here. Offensive, actually, we've got the tight end room. The tight end room is really concerning because of the candidates. You've got Adam Molafole, redshirt senior, Trey Lechner, the redshirt sophomore, Andre Dollar, senior, and Hudson Cedarland, the redshirt junior. None of them have at least 10 catches at the FBS level. So it's a very inexperienced room. So I have concerns with the tight end room. Offensive line is solid, but it's inexperienced. I mean, you've got some upperclassmen and guys who have actually had playing time, but there's a lot of ones who don't. Starters look good, but if anybody gets hurt, it's going to be a problem. And you're going to be plugging in somebody who really hasn't played. So hopefully when you get some of those blowout games, get the second string in there to give us some game experience, because you may be needing them later in the year. Defensive line. Defense starts up now. Defensive line. Woo-hoo, a ton of transfers. Now, you know me and my stats. You have to have at least 10 tackles at the FBS level for me to mention. I think consider me a serious shot at the rotation. I got you guys here, transfers, and they've made the minimal. But you got Sony Finau, the senior transfer from Cal Poly. Max Balone, redshirt senior transfer from South Dakota State. You've got, here's another one. Mike Yon Sanjo Nijiki, the redshirt senior transfer from SMU. Jack Janikowski, don't know if he's related to Sebastian or not. Jack Janikowski, the redshirt sophomore. Michael Hughes, redshirt sophomore. Jack Proctor, redshirt junior. None of them had at least 10 tackles at the FBS level last year. None of them. Now, who did at the FBS level? We have 3 transfers from the FBS level. 5 transfers total, but you already heard a bunch of them. But 3 transfers at the FBS level, and they all contribute at least 10 tackles. So we actually have, technically, 1, 2, 3, 6 at least 10 tackles at the FBS level, but nobody stands out. Then you know now. So going in least to best, Isaac Terrell, the junior, 12 tackles last season. We got here. Ram Stevenson, the redshirt senior, 15 tackles and 2 sacks. Darian Dalton, the redshirt senior transfer from San Diego State, 16 tackles. We have Bryson Lamb, the redshirt junior, 18 tackles. We have Caden Beatty, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Kent State, 19 tackles, 1 sack, 1 pass deflection. And the one who's probably going to be the star, he's an edge, so he can be technically a linebacker. I put edge rushers on the defensive line. Buda Paletti, the senior transfer from New Mexico State, 20 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and a pass deflection. So nobody really outstanding. It's a lot of people you're going to have to prove what they can do. Now, the linebacker room, you got some guys, I don't know if they're going to run 4-3 or 4-2-5 or how they're going to run the defense. It's like a multiple system here. They're going to have at least 3 linebackers or starters. I think I'm confident on the starters, but the problem is depth. There is none. It's very inexperienced. What I mean is the fact that redshirt sophomores and up that are not on the scout team, 4 guys. 4. Everybody else is redshirt freshmen and freshmen with 0 playing time. A couple of them that have been, I take that back. They've had playing time but no recorded stats. They're all special teams. So you've got Gavin Bartheo, the redshirt senior transfer from Utah State. He did not have 10 tackles. Everybody else, I'm going to say the FCS one for last. It's in South Dakota State, and he's interesting. Keith Brown, the redshirt senior holdover from last year's squad, 26 tackles and a sack. Parker McKenna, the redshirt senior, 39 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and a pass deflection. And then you have Caleb Frankel, the redshirt senior transfer from South Dakota State. Again, it's FCS. He plays linebacker and plays safety. We'll see what's going to happen with him there. He's listed as linebacker for now. We'll see if he ends up being a safety. Truck taking off next to me. At South Dakota State last year, 78 tackles, 1 sack, 7 pass deflections. I think he more than played safety, but they got him as linebacker. So we'll see how this works. But he drops back into coverage pretty damn well. 78 tackles. I think he meant to done both. But that's a concern for the linebacker room. Now, the secondary, again, normally I like to see 8 to 10 guys who got, can do something. Even if it's transfers. I don't like redshirt freshmen and freshmen having to get in the rotation because it usually doesn't mean well if they're in the real key rotation of the secondary, which is usually your top 8. Well, other than redshirt freshmen and freshmen, there's only 7 on the roster. 7. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SCS transfers. 3 from South Dakota State. Let's get into the transfers. I'll actually correct myself. 4 from South Dakota State. Take the whole secondary. Cale Reeder, redshirt senior. Tucker Large. Yes, that's his name. Tucker Large, the redshirt senior. Colby Humphrey, redshirt senior. They didn't have really major stats, like at least 40 tackles. Matt Durrance, the redshirt senior, also from South Dakota State. 63 tackles, 3 picks, 4 pass deflections. Okay, he could be something. You got AJ Davis from SMU. none out of 10 tackles. Jamori Colson, redshirt senior, holder from last year's squad. 13 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 pick, 1 pass deflection. Jamori is the only one with at least 10 tackles at the FBS level in the entire roster. In the secondary. I'm a little nervous. I mean, you got a lot of potential, but how good are they actually going to be? Well, I've done enough talking. We're already 15 minutes in this video because there was a lot of explaining to do. So let's get to this Washington State schedule. Again, no conference play because Washington State and Oregon State had to make up their own schedules because they're not on the scheduling agreement with the Mountain West anymore. We're not going to cover that, so including playing Oregon State twice. All right, so we start off the season. Washington State starts off at home against Idaho. This is the season opener for both schools. Last meeting was in 2022. Washington State won 24-17 in Pullman. Idaho played them close. Idaho's FCS, your FCS. It's going to be close, but you're at home. I'm giving Washington State the win. Then you come up at home again, still at home, against San Diego State. I covered this game in the San Diego State prediction video. You beat San Diego State. Then you go on the road at North Texas. North Texas plays at Western Michigan the week before. Western Michigan's going to be an interesting team. That'll be a good battle between the two. This is the first ever meeting between North Texas and Washington State. I took a look at the North Texas roster. I have less faith in the North Texas roster than I do in the Washington State roster. You're going to go on the road at North Texas and get the win. Then you're at home for a game. The Apple Cup, home against Washington. I covered this game in the Washington preview and prediction video. You're losing the Apple Cup game to Washington. Then you go on the road at Colorado State, heading to Fort Collins. Future Pac-12 opponent. Get used to this place. This is the state pride game for Colorado State at home. I have no idea what that is. Colorado State fans, let me know what it is. Colorado State plays UTSA at home, so they're at home the week before. Last meeting was in 2023. Washington State won 50-24 at Fort Collins. This is a different Washington State team. This is a different Colorado State team. You're playing the Apple Cup at home. You're going to be emotionally spent. Colorado State, some may overlook. I don't know. You're on the road. I'm picking Colorado State to beat you. Then you get a bye. And once you're aboard out of the bye, you're at Ole Miss. You're heading to Oxford, Mississippi. So you go from Pullman, Washington to Oxford, Mississippi. Heading south and heading away. That's going to be a fun one. Ole Miss, both schools actually have a bye week the week before, so the bye week advantage is nullified. So Ole Miss is going to have 2 weeks to prepare for you. You're the one who has to travel, so they got the advantage. This is the first ever meeting between Ole Miss and Washington State. Could Ole Miss be caught napping? Because their next game is a big one at Georgia in Athens the following week. So could they be caught sleeping? Could be. But Ole Miss is too damn talented for you. And the travel on top of it, it may be close, but I'm picking Ole Miss to beat you. So you're already 3-3. Then you go on the road again at Virginia. Oh boy. Virginia has a bye the week before. So they have 2 weeks to prepare for you while you went on the road to Oxford, and now you got to go all the way across to Charlottesville, Virginia. First ever meeting between Virginia and Washington State. You just got beat up by Ole Miss. Now you got to go all the way cross country. You're losing to Virginia. You're not going to like that. You're losing to Virginia. I just think it's just too much. Then you're at home the following week against Toledo. I covered this game in the Toledo preview prediction video. You're beating Toledo at home. Then you're on the road the first half of the Pac-12 Championship Series, because that's what they're called since you're playing each other twice. On the road and Corvallis at Oregon State. Let me pull up my notes here. You know, last year, Pac-12 championship game, you played each other once. Oregon State won 41-38 in Corvallis. Your back-to-back games in Corvallis. Oregon State has a bye the week before. So you go home against Toledo, and then you're at Oregon State. Toledo's not, you play a competitive game with them. They got a bye. They got 2 weeks to prepare for you, and they're at home. You're losing to Oregon State. You're not going to like it, but you're losing to Oregon State because I have more confidence in them and they're at home. Then you get a bye. All right, your second bye. Come out of the bye at home against Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech is playing at Delaware the week before, so they go down in Louisiana and go up all the way up here to Delaware, and then they got to go leave there and go all the way over here to Pullman. Not good scheduling on Louisiana Tech's part. First ever meeting between Louisiana Tech and Washington State, and you're beating Louisiana Tech. Plus you got 2 weeks to prepare. Give me a break. How bad are you going to beat them is my question. This is basically going to be a prepare game. Now comes the game that's going to be the most interesting to me. Other than the Pac-12 championship. You're at James Madison. James Madison plays Appalachian State the week before, so that's a tough game. They're playing them at home. So they've been at home for 2 weeks, waiting on you. You want Louisiana Tech now, you go from Pullman to Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is damn near to West Virginia. It's all the way up there. On I-81. I'm trying to remember his 81. My brain's not working today. But anyway, first ever meeting between James Madison and Washington State. You're traveling cross country again, and you're losing to James Madison. I know you're not going to like hearing it, but this travel is killing you this year. Yikes. Here's an idea. Washington State fans, do you think joining the ACC would be a good idea when you have this kind of schedule ahead of you? No. No. And you finish the season at home, Oregon State, the second half of the Pac-12 Championship Series. If my predictions are right, you lost to Oregon State. Now, I decided, myself, I'm crowning the Pac-12 Championship Series champion. And basically in these two games, if we have a split, one of the actual tie breaks for the Pac-12 Championship is most points scored in conference play. So what's going to mean is, if I'm right here, Oregon State beats you in the first game by 10. You have to win the second game by 11 to win the Pac-12 Championship. If you win it by 10, we go to the next tie break. If you lose it by 9, win it by 9 or less, Oregon State wins the title, even though they lost the last game. So this is important to them. They're 2-0, 2 straight games against you. It's trying to go for 3-0. Emotional game. Oregon State plays at Tulsa the week before. So they're on the road too, but the difference is they're going from Corvallis to Tulsa. You're going from Pullman to Harrisonburg. A lot farther. And Corvallis to Pullman is not that far. Oregon State goes 3-0. They beat Washington State again and become back-to-back Pac-12 champions, if I'm right. I'm going to hear the hate from the Washington State fans in this comment section. Oh, boy. But I've got enough talking and flapping my lips, because I know somebody's going to be wanting to fatten my lips, and the Washington State fans want to punch me in the mouth for suggesting that you end up 5-7 on the year. It's a rough year for you. But this is building. And then next year you start the Pac-12. You don't have all this cross-country travel. At North Texas, if you go Texas State, it's kind of similar. Okay, Colorado State, okay. Ole Miss, you won't be traveling that far. Virginia, you won't be traveling that far. You travel to Virginia twice for Virginia and James Madison. So, yeah. Might be a better idea. Staying around. But anyway, 5-7 on the season. With three consecutive losses now to Oregon State, if I'm right. But like I said, I've done enough flapping my lips. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, do me the favor. Smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. Okay, without all the extras, let me pull the extra paperwork out the way. I'm going to repeat the schedule again. And you tell me what you think they're going to do in the comments. Home against Idaho. Home against San Diego State. At North Texas. Home against Washington, the Apple Cup. At Colorado State. Then a bye. At Ole Miss. At Virginia. Home against Toledo. At Oregon State. Then your second bye. Home against Louisiana Tech. At James Madison. And the final game of the year, second half of the Pac-12 Championship Series. Home against Oregon State. Let me know what you think they're going to do in the comments. Share the video if you want to, and if you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos I've done. I do stuff besides this, but this is when I'm catching on my scheduled videos this time of year. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. You know, trying to reach 1K, trying to make the magic happen. If you want to follow me on X, the craziness that it is, the link will be in the description. So thanks everybody for watching the video. Hope everybody's having a great day. Man, more videos en route. I just can't stop cranking them out. So thanks everybody for watching. Be safe, and please be good to each other.